Look at you.
Sorry, the once that
Man,
door opens, the wind gets the hair going a bit here. You can
that's
see I'm
great. Let's look
trying
at
to
this
jump through.
beautiful machine.
Oh, let me swing the camera around here. Um, there we go.
Ah, look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
182, correct?
Yep. We got six, two here, and then two. Oh, Jesus.
That's great though.
Once the door opens, it's a 80 wind coming through there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. So how long you been doing this?
About 3 months now. Yeah, they called me just before Christmas and said, "Can you come down? We'd like to put you on the training as a backup pilot." And I was absolutely. I went down and did a couple of flights, and they said, "Hey, listen, we have some other opportunities for you. You can edit the GoPro videos. So when people come down, you put a little edit together and airdrop it to them. You can check people in, put on the harnesses for the rigs, and then work with the A&P. So I worked with the A&P for the first like 4 weeks, learn loads, learn like we're doing 100 hours, obviously all the time because we're flying like crazy. I would move planes around for servicing. So I'd bring them up, they'd get an annual, bring them back because they got two locations, and then just started picking up jumps. Just they said it's going to be slow at first, but everybody just wants to take time off, so I just started picking them up, picking them up, picking them up, and now I'm flying pretty much full time with these guys. Yeah, in the 182.
Fantastic. Oh, look at that. There's nothing in it, bare bones, real flying.
Yeah, no roof side. It's just one seat. It's
Oh,
quick.
this is
Doesn't
so
power.
great. So
Yeah,
you're the first. You're the first one to sign up to the program, and look at you. Oh, this is
we did it, man.
so satisfying. And how does it work? How many days a week are you flying?
I live, so they have accommodation at the drop zone. They have converted shipping containers, so I'm always there. I can hear
Yeah.
people skydiving over the top of my house sometimes. um, and so I just put myself out for availability all the time. And so I sometimes I'll fly 7 days a week, weather dependent. But
Of course.
what happens is if it's cloudy, everyone holds and they book for the next day. So over Christmas time, flew 7 days a week. We were just jumping like crazy. So yeah, 6, 7 days a week. I'm flying 6 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, like just the time's building up like crazy. Yeah.
That's great. And how long is a typical flight? Point two, point three airtime?
Yeah, it takes depending on the load, the whole thing is about 30 minutes. So it'll take you about 15, 20 minutes to get to altitude, so 9,500.
Mm.
Jumpers get out coming down at just on the edge of BNE. And the different type of flying for me, it took me some time to get used to it
I
because the
bet.
next going to be waiting for you. But they like they say get back down and get this bird on the ground. So yeah, about 30 minutes. You're really coming down. There's a whole process that you have to kick the door closed. You can see the door here, so you kick the
Mm.
door rudder, the door swings shut. Cowl flaps close, carb heat, and just roll over the top and go like that, and you're coming down like 100. I think I'm down 150 in some of these, and you just kind
Wow.
of rock it to the ground. It's just yeah, a real stick and rudders. I mean, I'll get 10 landings a day sometimes. Today I had six already. I'm just waiting for the next load behind.
Jeez. Thought
Yeah,
I was doing a lot. In summer, I do 10 to 15 of them, but holy, that's you. Okay, so if you're doing 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, you're almost at 100 hours a month. That's a lot of flying. This kind of
yeah,
flying is exhausting if you're doing it at that level. God, that's great.
yeah. The time's coming up. I mean, the most of these guys are flying like around 100 a month. They get into airline levels under a year. They get into the 1,500. Great
And how long did you get offered a contract or was it a handshake thing?
handshake. Yeah, they're under the assumption that you're gonna stay there until 1,500 hours. But it's just an ongoing. But they have one pilot at 1,300, so he's kind of like on his way soon to Delta. And so I'll kind of jump into his slot, and they'll bring someone else behind me. But yeah, it's just kind of an ongoing thing. Um, yeah,
Oh, that's great. And So they've got all 182s or anything else?
Just 182s, yeah. Seven. I want to say seven. We've got
That's
like
good.
in a
And are they connected with some other companies? I know a company in Santa Barbara, someone in the programs. He's working for one company, but he's connected to some other ones as well. They got Twin Otters, they got Caravans, that sort of stuff.
This one is just in Key West and West Palm. So Skydive Key
Gotcha.
West. I'm in West Palm at the moment, but I'm normally based in Key West. They bounce me to as like the backup pilot, basically.
Life is good, my friend. This is
Yeah,
great. And where did you grow up in England?
Gloucester in the west of England. Yeah, near to
So
Bristol.
it's I, it's snowing here today, so I'm just assuming it's not that great back home in England either. So look at you flying in the
But
sun.
down here in I mean, I thought I had a few clouds here, but it's nothing, nothing like that.
This is so great. And the thing is about your resume, you're so perfect for this because all of your resume has been either about teaching, coaching, water sports, dealing with clientele. I mean, you're this is the perfect spot for you. Something like this. So this is music in my ears. This makes me so happy to see. This is great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I followed your advice. I went in and put my resume in and spoke to the chief pilot, and it took around, I want to say like probably 6 months of like chasing these guys up and consistently going in there because they were like overstaffed and being after having worked there, I realized now they get 5 to 10 resumes a week, just emailed.
Yeah.
They told me the difference was that you came in here and we thought you were a cool guy, and that's the game because you're living with these people and you're in the plane with them all the time. So yeah, that was the difference. Go in and meet the chief pilot. He likes the kiteboard, luckily, so I had like a little relationship with him from meeting him, and then as soon as the opportunity came open, I emailed them on the day, and then they called me back the same day. Well, actually, we think we might be able to like figure something out for you if you're willing to be flexible and do some other stuff. And I was like, whatever it takes, just put me in, and I will do what you
Oh
guys.
man.
That's kind
This
of
is
fun.
so
I
great.
put me in this good spot. Yeah,
It's just it's so much of it is an attitude thing. And what kind of training did you do?
it was about 10 days, and so they put another seat in here, so there'll be another seat here, and then there's a
Yeah.
chief pilot. He is like 10,000 hours or something like that. His ex corporate pilot. And so the first few, we just work on flying the 182, holding speeds. You need to hold at 80 so they can open the door. You climbing out like with flaps. It's basically a short field takeoff. How to fly like the pattern that they want. Because down in Key West, we've got the weather blimp and then the military zones between us. You have to keep between them. It's quite a
Mm,
specific
tight.
area. Yeah, and then jump run. So how to like identify a jump run with the wind. So it depends how windy it is, how far you fly past the drop zone. You don't want to drop the jumpers downwind. You want to make sure they're on a good line and they can see the ground, so you have to find holes. And then it was dropping other staff on jump like fun jumps, and then dropping customers under supervision of the CFI who was or the chief pilot, and then they let me loose and cut me out to the line.
It's
Um,
you know what's so great about that is that there's often this you're flying jumpers. What does it take? You go up, you go down, you open the door, and there isn't a flying job out there where it's just hit the throttle and go. There's always nuance to do it really well. I mean, people can do it ham-fisted if they want, but to really do it well, these details matter. They really do.
no, it's true. There's an art to it, and I mean, you're speaking to ATC. You got to call them all the way up. Clearance, tell them the 3 minutes, 2 minutes. You got to get the timing just right. So you hit, 3 minutes from the drop zone, you want to be at 8,000. So you're going to hit 9,005 just as you cross. You don't want to waste any time or altitude. So you circle. It's like flying an instrument approach in reverse almost. You're climbing and you got to line it up on the GPS here. And you got to line everything up long lat and just get it right. So skills, and then you come down, you got to fly normal traffic pattern or an untiled airport here, and so there's all sorts of people coming in on without radios. We get the blimp in here, Trauma Star, which is the medevac helicopter. I had a guy pull out on the runway in front of me yesterday to go around, so like I'm loads of skills are like coming back in. I hadn't done a go around in a while, and I had to cram it in and sidestep this
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, yeah, super dynamic, you know, and you're communicating.
Oh,
You're almost like you need to make sure that they're clear of the jumpers and you, and they're coming down, and everyone's doing air work down here, kind of training and stuff.
oh, so satisfying. Oh, this is so great. Oh,
Yeah,
it's the real thing now. And
yeah.
just a little bit of housekeeping. How are you getting paid? Are you being paid by the jump, by salary, by the week, the day?
By the head. So everybody that jumps out, you get paid per person.
Okay.
It works out like that, and then tips on top of that. And then any work that I do with the AMP is paid like hourly and stuff like that. Moving planes around is paid hourly.
Oh, you're doing some maintenance stuff. So you must be doing all the inspection panels. That's always what mechanics hate doing because it needs to be done, but it's time consuming. It's expensive. So I get the assistant to do it.
But yeah, yeah. I'm the cowling cover specialist, and we do
Oh,
we
that's great. You learn a
yeah,
ton. You really learn a ton doing it.
right. We rebuilt one recently for an overhaul, and I helped with the whole thing. And so to see it go from is perfect. You know, I never knew there was a chain that links the trim. You know, I never even knew there was a chain down there underneath. I didn't know how this thing looked behind the panel. Seeing it all
It's a
stripped down
trip.
makes it happen. And you know, there was cables up here that connect
Oh,
everything.
yes.
Seen one with the roof off before. I'd never seen the like back panel off and the cables that run back to the rudders and stuff. So just learning. It's been like a
Oh,
full of
this is so great. And I tell you, I mean, you get it now. Keep the mechanics happy, find out how they like their coffee, and I changed a lot of my flying based on mechanics because every time I bring it in for inspection, I would say, is this wear and tear or is this us?
hmm
And they would often, sometimes it'd be wear and tear, but sometimes it'd be, yeah, well, you guys could lean it out a little more because, the avgas has 4 to 7 times more lead than these engines were originally built for. So think about leaning it out more so you don't have to get me to come in and clean all the crud off your spark plugs. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just these little things. I have a real soft spot for mechanics, not just because of the work they do, but just the personalities involved. It's it's nice when you get to a point where I had a problem with the alternator. It actually is because I left the field switch off. There was just this one of our aircraft has a strange setup. So the mechanic came out and he thought it was a massive deal too. He took things apart and he realized the switch was off. So he was partly admitting his own failure of seeing the obvious, but being able to come up to me and go, stupid, stupid, stupid. And it's just great when you got that kind of relationship where you just know each other really well, you trust each other, and it's just,
um,
oh, this makes me so happy to see. I'm just so thrilled for you. Like this is now you're building a ton of time and quickly, and it's just now it just gets easier from here. Now you're building connections. Hopefully you're talking to all the medevac guys and everybody when they come in, and it's just keep making those connections as you're flying because now you've got the best calling card. You're part of the club now.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're flying full time.
Also, recently I went as this was last week. I went as co-pilot on a Polaris, and we flew it down to the Virgin Islands. But I did that flight, 4 hours there. I spent the week there teaching kiteboarding, and then I flew it back out turbine time. The next trip, I'm going to join them from Texas. They'll pick me up in Florida, and we'll do it again. So that's kind of on the side, which is like another great one. And the Scudder thing gives me flexibility to do it because I can say, hey, I need to take a few days off here and there, and there's enough pilots where I can jump out in the Polaris and build some time there. Which they use that for medevac. So yeah, I think that might be the way I try and go with it. I try and build to 1500 and then try and get into one of these medevac Polaris gigs.
It makes it so easy because again, you got a chief pilot who's got all sorts of instructors and they got maybe a little bit of turbine time, but then you've already got Pilatus time already. You're good to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
You know, it just makes things. It's just path of least resistance. Oh, Danny, I'm telling you, this just makes me so happy to see. I just so thrilled.
It's all thanks to your help and your course.
Oh, pleasure's all mine. So stay in touch. Let me know if you ever need anything. And send me photos, send me all sorts of fun stuff. Just makes me just thrilled to see.
Perfect. And any of your members who need advice on jump pilot jobs, I've seen a few around. There's one in Idaho, I think, is looking for some people. One in Montana,
Yes.
so you may have seen them too. But yeah, yeah, happy to help. And thank
Oh,
you.
you're the best. I'll send them your way.
Uh,
Okay. All right there, Captain. I'll let you go. Talk to you real soon. Stay in touch. And
Thanks,
again,
man.
congratulations.
All the best. Bye.
Bye bye.